You would think that by now we would realize that what happens behind the palace gates isn't necessarily what we're promised in the glitzy press releases. But most of the recent discussion surrounding Catherine, the Princess of Wales, falls flat. The truth is far more complex than most people understand. We're not simply discussing someone getting over a difficult year. Catherine was on the verge of death, and that's not just a sensationalized headline. That's the terrifying fact. Finally, falling between the cracks, it's simple to assume everything is fine based on her radiant smile at trooping, the color, or her composed presence at royal engagements. But appearances are deceiving. A little over a year ago, she was undergoing chemotherapy following a grueling surgery that revealed cancer. But nobody is really discussing why she needed that surgery in the first place. Prior to any diagnosis, there was already something going on. According to the royal statements, gravely incorrect, it wasn't just the cancer. It was the accumulation of months of pain and deterioration that, according to people close to her, left her barely hanging on. The early condition, the one no one wants to discuss, was what almost killed her. It was a stomach ailment that had apparently been festering long before the world even suspected she was ill. And this is where things start to get uncomfortable. For the palace, this isn't some minor flu that you can recover from with a few days of rest. Cancer treatment breaks you down in ways that don't show up in pictures. Some sources even claim that Catherine's public appearances are carefully spaced out because she's still not able to function as she used to. The mainstream narrative continues to spin this as a brief absence or private health issue, as if everything is under control like it ever was. Exhaustion, because her recuperation is still taking a long time and is painful, some royal insiders claim that she is still far from being fully recovered. For example, during the Royal Ascot absence, she was expected 1 minute and then taken off the list without providing a clear explanation. Instead of being honest about her health, palace spokespeople rushed to make it appear as though there was a simple misunderstanding and blamed it on communication problems. Come on, that's not a scheduling error. That's a cover, and people are becoming aware that there is still a big issue occurring behind closed doors. In her most recent article, one of the most reliable royal reporters, Rebecca English, revealed a shocking revelation. She quoted a close friend of Catherine who said, "I've been to hell and back," not in a metaphorical sense, but literally. Despite this, the quote is being obscured by headlines about dresses and public smiles, which is a covert admission of something the Palacitos want to publicly acknowledge, that Catherine was seriously ill, and that the danger may not be entirely over. More important than her health is the royal apparatus's unwillingness to tell the truth. When Prince William withdrew from that memorial service for the King of Greece last year, palace sources quickly dismissed it as a scheduling conflict. But in retrospect, it was the royal PR game is to say as little as possible and hope that everything will blow over. But this time, it didn't. The silence created a vacuum, and into that vacuum came conspiracy theories, rumors, and a mess that could have been avoided with just a little truth. It appears that it was directly related to Catherine's rapidly declining health. And some insiders knew it all along, but chose to say nothing. The report by Rebecca English didn't simply validate suspicions. Her sources said that after everything she's been through, Catherine has had a complete mental reset and is now more clear than ever about what matters to her. At the moment, that means protecting her peace, her family, and her privacy. She is no longer following the old royal handbook, which says to smile, wave, and show up no matter what. Instead, she is carefully selecting her moments. And that's not behind the scenes. Many who know her believe she's creating more distinct boundaries, which is a sign of her survival vulnerability. She considers the cost, whether it is worth the energy, and whether it will leave her exhausted for days after the event. If the answer is no, she stays at home, which is why she wasn't at Royal Ascot, although she doesn't care. She may not be at the state banquet next month because she can't afford to push herself just yet. Despite all of this Catherine's conting, to execute what appears to be an amazing comeback, including the color order of the Garter and the new V&A storehouse. These weren't simple appearances, but they were planned. Pick your battles, show up when it counts most, then withdraw, and refuel. It's now a pattern, and the palace is beginning to acknowledge it. Even King Charles, who has been receiving treatment for his own disease, is reportedly in complete agreement of her strategy. He understands it, but isn't. Despite all the pomp and circumstance, the royal family isn't blind to reality. And in this case, that reality is that chemotherapy recovery isn't straightforward. There are setbacks, lingering effects, and worst of all, constant uncertainty. Anyone who has experienced cancer or witnessed someone else go through it knows that fear doesn't go away. The question remains, is it gone or is it coming back? That alone. Catherine's inner circle and those she works with are aware that she can keep someone on edge indefinitely. But the public continues to put pressure on her, claiming a strange entitlement to her presence, as if being royal means she should simply recover at the drop of a hat. However, that isn't how it works. She's a human being who almost died, and that part is finally being acknowledged by those who have been silent for too long. It's also the reason words like seriously ill and lucky to be recovering are carefully chosen. They're soft signals, easing the public into the reality of how bad things really were. But that approach has risks. The palace narrative is gradually changing. They're not giving up the entire story, but they are beginning to hint that it's strategic to let a respected journalist say what they won't say officially. Excessive secrecy, and people do whatever they can to fill up the gaps. It was ridiculous, but predictable. You can't go dark in 2024 and expect silence when everyone still has a phone and a podcast. We witnessed it happen earlier this year when the palace attempted to act like everything was going as usual. The silence caused chaos, with rumors ranging from marital problems to body double conspiracy theories. Catherine is not hiding. Rather, she is handling this issue with grace. And if the people close to her are wise enough to stop acting, as though she's prepared to return full-time because, based on what we're hearing, she isn't. She may attend Wimbledon and greet foreign leaders. But she will do so on her own terms, not because it's expected of her, but rather because she chooses to do so. Even that isn't a given, though, as those close to Catherine say, she takes each week is directed by her doctors regarding her energy levels. The Chicago Sky's fan base, although shaken, remained loyal. Social media campaigns and fan forums buzzed with messages of support, urging the team not to give up. Hashtags like #RiseUpSky and #TrustAngel trended as fans rallied around their stars during this turbulent time. However, not all voices were supportive. Critics argued that the team needed more than just pep talks and therapy sessions. Some called for drastic changes, including new coaching hires and player trades, to salvage the season. In the midst of this divided atmosphere, the organization announced a mid-season strategy meeting, signaling that tough decisions could be on the horizon. Speculation about potential trades, changes in leadership, and even Angel's future with the team grew louder. The question on everyone's mind: will the Chicago Sky recover their strength and unity, or will this sudden collapse mark the beginning of a longer fall? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, the story behind the collapse is far more complex than just an off night on the court. It's a tale of leadership struggles, personal battles, and the high stakes of professional sports. The tension inside the Chicago Sky organization had reached a breaking point. Whispers of a locker room mutiny grew louder, and the cracks in the team's unity threatened to become an irreparable divide. As rumors swirled, the spotlight remained firmly on Angel Reese, the woman who was expected to lead the team through this storm, but who now faced her toughest challenge yet. Behind closed doors, things were far from simple. Sources close to the team revealed that a private meeting between key players and coaching staff became an emotional showdown. Voices were raised, accusations flew, and emotions ran so high that even the most composed members struggled to keep their cool. One insider described it as a powder keg waiting to explode finally going off. Angel, who had tried to mediate and keep the peace, found herself confronting harsh truths. Some teammates voiced frustrations about her leadership style, saying she could sometimes come across as demanding or unwilling to listen. Others defended her fiercely, arguing that without Angel's intensity, the team wouldn't have made it this far. Angel's fire is both a blessing and a curse, one player confided. She pushes us harder than anyone, but sometimes it feels like there's no room for mistakes or disagreements. The coaching staff wasn't immune to criticism either. Questions about strategy, player rotations, and communication styles dominated the meeting. Some players felt decisions were made without their input, leading to confusion and frustration during games. Amid this chaos, an unexpected twist emerged. A leaked recording surfaced online, a private locker room conversation caught during practice. In it, Angel and a few teammates openly discussed their concerns, frustrations, and hopes for the future. The raw emotion and honesty in the recording shocked fans and critics alike. Revealing the human side of the struggle, in the recording, Angel admits feeling overwhelmed but vows not to give up. "This team means everything to me," she says, her voice cracking with emotion. "We're family. We fight together. We have to be honest with each other, or we'll never get better." The leak sparked a wildfire of reactions. Some fans praised the transparency and bravery, while others felt the team's private struggles should have remained private. Media outlets dissected every word, fueling speculation about what would happen next. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the Chicago Sky organization moved quickly to control the damage. Statements were released emphasizing unity and commitment to moving forward. Meetings were held to discuss how to rebuild trust and focus on winning again. Angel's role was under intense scrutiny. Some questioned if she was the right leader for the future, given the tension her style seemed to create. Others believed she was the key to healing, the spark that could reignite the team's fire. In response, Angel addressed the controversy in an emotional interview. "I'm not perfect," she said. "I'm learning every day. But I love this team and our fans. We will come back stronger no matter what." As the team prepared for their next game, all eyes were on them. Could they overcome the drama and prove the doubters wrong? Or would the cracks continue to widen? The Chicago Sky's journey had turned into a high-stakes drama, a story of ambition, conflict, resilience, and redemption. Every game became more than just a contest. It was a test of character and unity. For Angel Reese and her teammates, the pressure was immense. The fans, the media, and the organization demanded answers, results, and leadership. And the players knew that the next few weeks would define their season and perhaps their careers. Will the Chicago Sky rise from the ashes? Or will this be the beginning of a long fall? The next chapter is about to unfold. The Chicago Sky's shocking collapse and the turmoil surrounding Angel Reese have shaken the WNBA and its passionate fan base to the core. What began as a promising season has turned into a dramatic saga filled with heated arguments, leaked recordings, and questions about leadership and loyalty. The family that once seemed unbreakable now stands divided. And the path forward is anything but clear. Angel Reese's journey from confident leader to a player grappling with immense pressure shows the human side of professional sports, where emotions run high and every decision carries weight far beyond the scoreboard. Her candid admissions and the raw locker room conversations have pulled back the curtain on a team fighting to rediscover its unity. Fans are left wondering, will the Chicago Sky overcome their internal struggles? Can Angel reclaim her role as the team's heart and soul? Or is this collapse a sign of deeper, lasting problems? As the season continues, the Sky story will keep unfolding, filled with twists, challenges, and, hopefully, redemption. But one thing is clear, the drama isn't over. And every fan will be watching closely to see how this intense chapter concludes. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you think caused the Chicago Sky's downfall? Is Angel Reese the leader they need, or is change inevitable? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the latest updates on the Chicago Sky and all the biggest stories in the 1B. If your voice matters, join the conversation today.